A thundering sound breaks from the tree line, followed by braying and war horns being sounded. The ground begins to shake underneath the charge of the abomination's hooves, known as the Beasts of Chaos. "Steady up, men! Aim and hold!" the lieutenant of this unfortunate caravan commanded. "On my signal, give these horrors a taste of our lead," trying to inspire the men around him, but he and they knew that this was a doomed battle. "Steady!" he yelled. He was doing his duty, and only hoped to slow down or shrink the size of this prey herd, giving their next victims a fighting chance. "Fire!" he shouted, as barrels lit up as the men discharged their volley, giving the taste of their thunder to the beastmen. "Second volley, you're up now. First volley, reload and fire at will." They did not have much time to push their advantage. The herd was fast and numerous, and would slaughter them to a man, the lucky ones anyway. After the third volley, the men drew sword and spear, for they knew even without the command that they did not have enough time for a fourth volley. It was time for a scrap. "It's been an honor, lads. Send as many of these beasts to Shyish as you can. For Sigmar!" Welcome, warlords and generals, to another video. Today, I will be covering the origin and thematic writings of the Beast of Chaos, or the true children of Chaos, as they're known as, and from those coming from Warhammer Fantasy battles, know them as the beastmen. Without further ado, we will begin. These creatures are the nightmare symbiosis of nature and chaos, for they occur naturally and are not spawned of the warp directly, a dark reflection of nature, having been ancient horrors to the mortal races even before Sigmar arrived. Primitive cave paintings, ancient idols, and carvings of men with hooves and animal and heads were ancient depictions by the time Sigmar came to bring civilization to the mortal realms. At the start of the Age of Myth, Sigmar rallied the gods into one pantheon and gave civilization to elves, humans, and dwarves alike, driving out the beastmen to the edges of the realms. Here they gathered, waited, licking wounds and recovering for the day that they may vent their hatred upon civilization once again. This opportunity came when the gods of chaos found the mortal realms. When the pantheon fell apart and chaos was unleashed, this is when the beastmen came back with a vengeance, venting the seething hatred and assisting the chaos in pillaging and plundering. The herds were left unchallenged, and upon a moment chaos was moments away from winning and corrupting the mortal realms as they did the old world before it exploded. Sigmar unleashed his secret weapon, the Stormcast Eternals. These demigods of lightning did not deter the beastmen, however, as now they had the ultimate manifestation of order to vent their hatred for everything civilized upon. With this return, the beastmen were driven back once again, but chaos manifested within the realms. The beastmen are able to raid and pillage indiscriminately, for chaos corruption was rooted deep, and many of the ancient bonds were beyond repair for the forces of order. As their true origin, none know for sure, but there are many theories as to where and how these abominations came to be within the mortal realms. One origin is actually recorded on the glyphs of a tusk, the information of which speaks of an alpha progenitor, the god beast of the Gur. The tusk glyphs of the prowling valleys of Gur speak of a beast spawned of a hiccup of warping magic into this realm, right into the wild heart of nature. Supposedly, this spawn of this ancient beast created the first of the great frays, and from there, they spread across the realms. What happened to this alpha progenitor is unclear, as the glyph tusks telling that information have been splintered, their marrow supped upon, and ground into the mud with hooves, though many still believe it roams the realm of Gur as a colossal god beast or the hungering Ravenak. The beastmen themselves give veneration to this beast, calling him Gorefather, Sire of Ruin, and many other names. The brain hearthstones that the herds build will be given offerings and feed upon the beastmen's slaughter and feasting, eventually bulging with energy and spawning even more beasts of chaos into the realms. The second most spoken of theories is that the beasts are simply a naturally occurring phenomenon caused by winds and hiccups of the mutative powers of chaos leaking into the realms, causing normal animals and humans to mutate and change into something part man, part animal, and becomes mentally twisted as they become fixated on slaughter and ruin and rely more upon their feral instincts than their logic. Even the people of the ancient tribes were not safe according to this theory, as they were touched by the anarchic energy themselves. Some of them were simply unlucky. Some sought after it, but they were affected the same. Nightmarish prophetic visions, deformity, and even blessed with magical power suddenly. These individuals were either exiled, forced, or choosing to become and live as hermits. Others were allowed to stay, spreading their deformity to their clan and kin. In some cases, the tribe will recognize the danger and slay the soon-to-be abomination. Regardless, eventually these deformities will continue, causing them to become mutants, to devolve and physically and mentally more into feral, bloodthirsty beasts of chaos. Some scholars of the realm of Aesir theorize that the mutating wind still affects citizens of the mortal realms to this day. This theory came about to help explain why whole kingdoms of civilization would be overrun by the beastmen, rampaging and pillaging in the wilds where civilization once stood in defiance of them. The third theory comes from writings that originate from the scholars of Hysh, realm of light. These philosophers saw the beast of chaos as a reversal of all things order, even when it comes to their way of creation. Where a dwarf and a dwarf will make another dwarf, this train of thought makes the note of the fact that beasts of chaos originated from a civilization that did not remain in line with the natural order of things when it came to reproduction. As every beastman is different in its mutations and bodily features. Few copies of this work remain after the Age of Chaos, the state they originated from, isolated themselves from the other Sigmar states and cities. As such, they were among the first to fall to chaos when their forces began their rampage across the realms. Those works that did survive would be collected, and remaining pages would become into a single tome known as the Corporis Chaotica. Doomsayers still reference the work, and scripture from the book can be found graffitied among the walls of Sigmarite cities. Regardless if only one of these theories, or somehow a collective of all these theories, are true or false, none can deny that the beasts of chaos are a darker side of the realms and will never truly be eradicated. The evidence of being part of the realms is shown in the beasts themselves, as which realm they come from affects their physical appearance. Beasts from Gur may have tusks and horns made of wood, and manes of moss. Those of Ulgu, realm of shadows, will have extremely dark skin, and hair flowing as if it were made of actual liquid darkness. Regardless of realm of origin, they bring ruination and chaos, and the gods of chaos take great interest in the great frays and herds to manipulate them on their end for the great game, even though the vast majority of the beasts of chaos themselves view the gods as weak and only a small part of the true nature of chaos. But that is for another video, as we have reached the end of this one's topic for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to criticize or start a discussion about said topic or future topics, please leave a comment. If you'd like to see more work from me and be updated on when I upload new videos, please subscribe, as I try to upload a 40K or Age of Sigmar video every 1 to 2 weeks. I hope you enjoyed the video, have a lovely day, and happy wargaming.